Hello everyone, my name is Abby and I'm the Young Adult Assistant at the Twin Lakes Library System and I use she/her pronouns. For today for Must Read Monday, I am going to be recommending two YA mystery novels that I am a fan of. I really like YA mysteries and mystery books in general, so I thought I would recommend them to you. Both of these books are in our collection at the actual branch, so if you decide that you're interested in reading them, you can go ahead and put them on hold and pick them up there from the drive-thru. Our drive-thru is open Monday through Saturday from 10 to 2, and I believe Tuesday night from 5 to 7. So, the first book that I'm going to talk to you about is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, and Common Sense Media recommends this for ages 13 and up. So, the plot of this book basically follows our main character, Pip, who has to do a capstone project for her senior year of high school, and she's really into true crime and she wants to become a journalist when she gets out of high school. So she decides that she's going to try and solve the 5-year-old murder of a girl in her town, Annie Bell. The thing is, Annie Bell's murder was found when Annie Bell was killed, or supposed murder, alleged murderer, who is Sal Singh, who was her boyfriend. Unfortunately, Sal committed suicide, so no one ever really got to hear the whole true story, and people basically just assumed that he did it. And Andy doesn't believe that Pip doesn't believe that Sal killed Andy, so she wants to go about and try to prove it, despite a lot of people not being helpful or believing that that's what actually happened. So she starts investigating. She teams up with Sal's brother Ravi to sort of try to figure out what actually happened. She creates this list of suspects, and as it goes on, it starts getting a lot more complicated, and she starts uncovering a lot more things than she originally expected to, and it becomes a lot more dangerous than she thought it would, but she's very desperate to figure out what actually happened, just because she can't believe that Sal would have done something like that. So she investigates and tries to figure it out. And what I liked about this book, just to note, this is a new release for us. I do actually think, it's going to be a series. There's only one book out, at least in America right now. I think this is from a UK author, and so the publication dates might be pushed back. But it is going to be a series, which I always say is a good thing. There's only one book out right now, but the rest of the series will come out. So, just to go on. So there's some really cool formatting in this book. There are text messages and interviews and capstone entry logs that are kind of told, and it kind of creates this mixed media multi-format that's cool and interesting to see, and it kind of takes you through Pip's investigation. It talks about some important issues. It talks about racial discrimination, it talks about grieving, it talks about, just going through and questioning the world around you and things like that. It has a found family element in the book, which is, important. And then I also really like Pip as a lead character. She feels very realistic in that she is doing this investigation. She is very smart. She is very capable, but she also is human and understands that she's a teenager, and so she has to kind of go about ways and things in a trickier way than would have been expected, and it feels very real, which I appreciate, because sometimes you sort of have to suspend your disbelief, but I feel like this one feels a little closer to what a teen person at that time who's investigating something like this would have reacted to a lot of situations. I liked seeing the process of Pip figuring everything out. It feels very real. It doesn't all just come out of nowhere. She has to build leads, she has to talk to people, she has to do interviews. There's a lot going on, and it feels like, a good process that is going on. And then the last thing that I really liked is, this is kind of a smaller detail, but it's Pip's family. She has a very good relationship with her family. Her dad and her are so good together. They're great. They have a great dynamic. They have a good father-daughter relationship, and it's very wholesome, and I like that. Okay. The next book I'm going to be talking to you about is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerri Maniscalco, and Common Sense Media recommends this book for 14 and up. So this book follows 17-year-old Audrey Rose Wadsworth, and she's a lord's daughter in the Victorian era, and so she has all the privileges that would be allotted to her as a very wealthy young woman during that time, but she's not really interested in the traditional role for women during that time. So when she is not out doing all of the things that are expected of her during that time, she goes with her uncle to study cadavers and practice forensic science and medicine. And she sort of starts to realize a pattern with a bunch of the cadavers that are brought in, and thinks that there might have been a serial killing. And she starts her own little investigation to sort of figure out like what's happening to these people, why are they being killed this way, like what's happening, like is there something else bigger. And she sort of starts to realize it's a lot more, again, like complicated, and her whole world kind of changes as she goes through. So yeah, why I loved this. It's a series, which I think is great, and it's a really fun series. It's like 4 books, I think, is what it is, and it's fun. It's all mystery novels. It's all forensic. You're following the same person the whole time, so I think that's really cool. I think that the science seemed really well researched. It seemed very realistic, and the way that went about it was good. Excuse me. And so I really liked that. And then, hold on, I'm sorry. And then I also really liked Audrey Rose herself, like as a character. I thought she was really cool. She was really smart. She was really sciencey, and she was very intelligent. She kind of knew what she was doing. The next thing I really liked is Thomas and Audrey's relationship. So Thomas is the main male lead in the book, and they have a really good romance, and it develops super well, and they have a great dynamic, and I love seeing them play off of each other and like be really smart and investigate together. It's really cool. This is also a historical fiction, so it's told in a past setting, which I thought was interesting. It had like fun genre blending, and I really liked that. I think also the author does a great job of being very descriptive and creating really great mystery, and it keeps you guessing and anticipating, and it's just a lot of fun to follow. So those are my 2 book recommendations, and I will see you again another day. Have a great day. Bye-bye.